Welcome to the Hollywood Scholar. I'm Jed Morgan, and the disastrous future that Nerdrotic has been predicting for many years now seems just around the corner because as soon as access media sites are starting to suggest things, that usually signals things are only a couple years away from actually coming about, at least in spheres like this. So yeah, ScreenRant, or ShillRant as it's better known as, is saying why the best Star Wars future could be a New Hope reboot. And that is a horrifying concept because Disney has mishandled every project that they've worked on in the Star Wars universe and entirely mishandled the franchise as a whole, taking it from $1 billion franchise to $1 million franchise where kids get mad at Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers for comparing the success of Stranger Things to the success of Kenobi. This kid was like, how dare you compare a juggernaut like Stranger Things to Kenobi? That's the state of Star Wars, where people think Stranger Things should be bigger than Kenobi. That is not the case whatsoever. Star Wars should be the biggest franchise in the world. It is no longer that. And the fact that shill sites like this are calling for a New Hope reboot is not a very good sign. And yeah, as I mentioned, Gary from Nerdrotic has been calling this out for a long time. This is a recent tweet, but he's been saying this for years. Disney will remake Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 and they will suck. I mean, just look at their sequel trilogy to know how bad it will suck. Just look at Kenobi to see how bad it will suck. It's just not what they should do, but it's what they're going to do because nostalgia is all they have. And with Kenobi, they squeezed really the last bit of mainstream nostalgia that they can get out of this franchise. What's left? Remaking it all. And it's all to fix their problematic past in Star Wars and to free them up so that they're not confined by the story requirements that the previous movies kept them restricted within, which any good writer worth their salt would be more than capable of writing a show like Kenobi or subsequent shows and movies within the confines of the movies and created some incredible products. But they're not hiring good writers at Disney. They're hiring activists first. When your priority is activism, you're going to write shit. That's always going to be the case, and it's never going to be anything different. So yeah, their only option is to remake the movies, and it's just horrifying that ShillRant thinks that this is even a good idea, and the fact that places like ShillRant are starting to talk about it is not a good sign for the future of Star Wars, because as soon as they start saying stuff like this, it's going to get into the minds of the creators at Lucasfilm, if it's not already. I fully predict in the next 5 years we'll at least have an announcement of a New Hope remake, because yeah, they're definitely going to start with a New Hope. They're not going to start with the Phantom Menace, in my opinion. But let's read a few of these comments that are truly awful from ShillRant. I'm truly horrified that this much of a shill article came out of ShillRant. Like, it's really impressive even for them. But why the best Star Wars future could be a New Hope reboot. Established Star Wars canon leaves little room for more exploration of Obi-Wan Kenobi's character, but a reboot of A New Hope might solve this issue. It's not an issue. Adhering to canon is something that everyone must do, and even if they remade all the movies, they're just making a new canon that future writers will have to stick to. So canon is immensely important. So the fact that we're just not smart enough to do what we're supposed to, so let's just get rid of it all and do whatever we want. That's not what a good writer would say. A good writer would be like, ooh, I have an opportunity to do something incredible. Let's see how I can fit it in there. I've come up with better ideas for the Kenobi show. I've come up with several ideas for the Kenobi show that would be far better. And they all fit within canon because that should be the number one priority, because it's meant to complement the movies, not contradict them and destroy them. Kenobi destroys so much from the prequel movies, the original trilogy movies, and so many of the characters involved in those stories that it does far more damage than good if you consider it canon, which I do not. I don't consider anything Disney Star Wars canon these days. Following the success of Obi-Wan Kenobi, yes, it technically got a viewership success, but the reception to it is rather split, and that's not going off Rotten Tomatoes or anything like that. It's always been an unreliable source, Rotten Tomatoes, Metacritic, stuff like that. They're unreliable sources, but you can just go on to, posts and read the comments. You can just go to random places online, and it's generally pretty split, and rightfully so, because it is abysmally written. It does some horrifying stuff to the Star Wars canon and to the characters of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, Leia Organa, and Bail Organa. They're all summarily destroyed by this show. So, yes, technically, success and viewership, not very well received, at least in my opinion from my interactions that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of them. The best course for this title character's future could be a Star Wars reboot with a new take on A New Hope and reworking of its canon. And with an Obi-Wan Kenobi, with the show, it's obviously going to make the hero of A New Hope Leia, because it focused on Leia far more than it did Luke. So that's all the remakes would be about, is about lessening Luke's role and increasing Leia's role, because that's what the sequel trilogy did. So why would a remake of the original trilogy be any different for this company? So I fully expect them to do this at some point. ShillRant is saying everything that Star Wars is thinking and everything that Neurotic has been calling out and fearing for years now. It just gets even worse. They keep just, trying to justify this insane take here with some very thin at best evidence, but it's really just horrifying to see someone who purports to be Star Wars fans calling for a remake of the fucking original trilogy. There should be 0 remakes of the original trilogy. The entire universe exists. The franchise exists. These people's jobs exist because of the original trilogy. Do not touch them. Do not hurt them, or it's incredibly disingenuous. It's biting the hand that feeds them. And I'm terrified to see how it all turns out, if they really will be so stupid as to follow Screen Rant's advice in this article. But anyway, that's all I have for today. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Anon. If you like what I do here and want to see good, compelling stories that Hollywood will no longer give you, check out my book series, Odyssey of a Phoenix, a mythological epic about philosophy, morality, and modern-day mental illness issues. Books 1, Down in Flames, and Book 2, Apocalypse Then, currently on sale. Book 3, Kill the Dark, coming soon.